Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be doing a book review on a book that I got off of NetGalley, and I want to say that this book has already come out. I can't remember, but I'll look it up and put the date that it's supposed to come out, or put the date that it came out in the description box below in case you guys are wondering or interested. But the name of the book that I'm going to be reviewing is called Rape Girl by Aline Klein. This book was a pretty good book. I really enjoyed reading this book, and I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And you guys are probably wondering, well, if it's such a great book or such a really good book, why didn't you give it 5 stars? Well, there's a couple reasons why I didn't give it 5 stars, and I will get into that as soon as I give you guys a little summary about what the book is about. So this book is essentially about a girl named Valerie who gets raped, and she gets raped by this guy that she has had a crush on for quite some time now, and essentially it's just how she deals with it and her journey and some of the things that happen to her throughout this experience, basically. So this book was a pretty quick read for me. I think it only took me about 4 or 5 hours to read. I read it in one sitting, and I mean, it's not a very long book. I think it's only about 200 pages or so, so it was really quick for me to get through. And I really enjoyed the concept of this story. I liked that the author was, writing about such a difficult and powerful topic. And so that kind of intrigued me a little bit and sparked my attention into even wanting to read this book in the first place. So I really did like the idea of it, and I liked that it was set in the perspective of the young girl, and it basically, gave you insight as to what happened to her and how she dealt with these things. So I really did enjoy the concept. I just feel like some things were lacking. There was a little bit of things that I feel should have been added, or more should have been included, and I guess that's kind of why it wasn't a 5-star book for me and it was just 3.5-star book. Like I said before, I kind of feel like the story was lacking in content, and what I mean by that is I feel like the author should have given us more description, more insight into how Valerie, the main character, was feeling about being raped and having to deal with this. I feel like the author just gave us a very cut and dry explanation of it, and I feel like there wasn't very much emotion behind it. I mean, if I were to get raped for whatever reason, I would be devastated and I wouldn't be able to function for weeks, maybe even months. And I think that I would be crying 90% of the time, and I feel like if I would go out in public and be around men, I feel like I would be very paranoid and I would be very uncomfortable, and I kind of feel like that real and that raw emotion wasn't shown in the character in the story. I feel like it wasn't very realistic. I kind of feel like the author just made it very cut and dry, and it was very nonchalant, like it wasn't a big deal. And I kind of feel like it is a big deal. This girl just got raped and she should be freaking out right now. So I kind of feel like it wasn't very realistic to a certain extent. The same goes for the relationships that Valerie had with her mom or her brother or her best friend or the guy named Adam who was the one that raped her. I kind of feel like the relationships weren't very realistic. I feel like being a teenager, being the teenager that she was, and being in a situation where her best friend decides that she wants to stop talking to her because she thinks that she's a liar and doesn't want to be her friend anymore. I feel like being a teenager and having that happen to you, I feel like you would be kind of being dramatic about it. You would be upset beyond words, and you would be freaking out about it. You wouldn't be so easygoing about it. You wouldn't just brush it off like it wasn't a big deal. And I feel like that's kind of what the main character did. She just brushed off, these situations and these events that would happen, and kind of just wasn't a big deal for her. The same goes for her relationship with her mom and her brother and the guy. I kind of feel like the author should have included maybe a little bit more dialogue between Valerie and Adam, which is the guy that raped her, and just, I don't know, just add a little bit more to the story. I feel like it was very short, and there could have been more to the story, more to the dialogue, and more to the character development. I don't feel like there was a lot of that. The same goes for her relationship with her mom. I feel like her mom was a little bit more emotional about what happened to Valerie than Valerie was herself. I know that in the story, she does show a bit of emotion. She's very reserved about the way that she's feeling, and she has to go to counseling so she can deal with it all. And she also is angry because everyone thinks that she's lying about actually getting raped, and no one believes her, and they just basically think that she did it because she wanted to be popular. So we know that she feels a certain kind of way, but we don't get that raw and real emotion that I feel would be there if someone were to truly have gotten raped and have to have gone through this experience. I kind of feel like she wasn't portraying that the way it should have been, but I don't know, maybe that's just how this character is. As I said before, I am giving this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.